ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ Alcoholism Beyond ਆਪਣੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਚੈਨਲ ਅੱਜ we're going to be talking to a lady who's been very brave ਆਈ ਹੈ ਚੈਨਲ ਤੇ ਦੱਸਣ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਨੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਤਬਾਹ ਕੀਤੀ ਤੇ ਜਾਨ ਵੀ ਖਤਰੇ 'ਚ ਪਈ। ਇਹਦੀ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਹੋਈ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਡਰਿੰਕਿੰਗ ਮਾੜਾ ਮੋਟਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟਲੀ ਫਰੈਂਡਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੌਲੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਲੱਗ ਪਈ ਤੇ ਚੋਰੀ ਪੀਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਈ। ਆਪਾਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਸੈਂਡੀ ਦੀ। ਸੈਂਡੀ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਸ਼ੋ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ।
ਸੈਂਡੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੀਵੀਅਸ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਮਿਲੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਲਾਈਫ how has it changed since you've stopped drinking?
It's changed drastically. I love my life. I live my life to the full.
Your husband supported you.
He did.
A huge amount through all of this. I mean, how do you feel looking back of what you put him through? Obviously, we hear a lot of stories about women leaving their husbands because husbands become hooked on alcohol and they get fed up and they take their children away. How did he cope? I mean, how did it...
I really can't even explain that, how he coped. He had nobody to turn to. He didn't know where to go to get help. I mean, I really don't know.
I mean, I understand reading some of your stories and obviously interviewing you previously that your husband was from India, is that right?
That's right.
So really, he didn't have anybody to turn to. He must have been completely lost. I mean, how did you make him feel?
Do you know, at that time, I don't think I even thought about him. It's when I sit back now and I watch that show with like what I've done with you, I feel guilty because he put up with a hell of a lot. I mean, not even somebody normal in the right frame of mind would put up with what he put up with.
And what is your relationship like with him today after, you know?
We are best of friends. We talk about it openly within the family. My family adore him.
Brilliant. Now, since when you first started drinking, we have this thing about denial. I mean, how long did your denial last? I mean, did you know you had got a problem?
20 years it lasted.
Yeah. Did you know you'd got a problem?
Not at the beginning I didn't, but I think towards the last 10 years, that's like 15 years of drinking, 10 years I knew there was something just not right.
And where were you drinking? Where were you getting it
At home, getting it from the shops.
Right, with alcoholism, as you know, there's a lot of females out there, and you've supported a few since.
I have.
I mean, do people actually approach you now? Because you do openly say to people, my name's Sandy Madar and I'm an alcoholic. I know we've done bits and pieces together as well. I mean, how many people a week would you say, for the purpose of the viewers, how many females out there do you know yourself that are suffering in silence?
I know so many that have actually called me, inboxed me after the show we've done together, after some work we won't say show, after previous work we've done together. We spoke about this previously. I was inundated with messages from mothers of children who have actually gone down this road and they really don't know what to do. And as you know, Harvey, I direct them to you. I always give your number to them. I said, this is the best person to contact.
Well, the reason this show is being aired is because Akal Channel and Alcohol and Beyond, we are working together to eliminate, to alleviate, to help. The numbers are on your screens. If you need to ask any questions or need any help, just pick up those lines. You need to speak to Sandy, you can speak to her, we can forward her details. If you don't want to speak to, if you're a female and you want to speak to a female, Sandy can speak to you. Sandy, going back to, you know, you're quite involved with the temples in London. Do you get a lot of people come and recognise you and say to you, well, you're the lady that is doing stuff with alcoholism with ladies? I mean,
I've had a lot of people. This was on about a couple of weeks ago actually. We were handing out some things at the Good Maze Gurdwara. And women had actually said, I saw you and Harvey do something together on a show. And I said, yes, that's correct. And they said that we want to take your information away, whether it's for somebody in their family, whether it's immediate family, or maybe it's somebody that they know that does need the help.
so do you think the denial in our community that, you know, people are hiding the fact that people are drinking or whatever, they're starting to come a bit more out now and trying to address the situation?
It's not as much as it should be.
It needs a lot more work.
It needs a lot more. They need to know that there is somebody on the other side of the phone that they can relate to them.
Because as you know, only an alcoholic can help an alcoholic.
That is true.
Because we have that empathy, we have that understanding, we don't judge, we don't sort of say to the person, "Tu chhad de, why tu kade peen lag gayi ho, tu peen lag gaya." We actually say, well, look, I know you're not drinking now because you want to drink. You're drinking because you're having to drink, because you're shaking, you're trembling, you're feeling sick. Have you ever had anybody who's approached you in that situation, just out the blue, and say, because I have it happen to me all the time?
3 days ago.
3 days ago.
One of my friends actually said, she goes, Sandy, I wouldn't even pick up a bottle. She goes, the only reason she picks up that bottle now, she's not even more than 4.5 feet, this girl, and I've known her for like 30 years. And how she became an alcoholic, I really haven't sat down and talked to her about it, but all I know, she said to me, if I don't get the shakes in the morning, she goes, I'd never pick up a bottle.
So they're having, it is drinking.
It's when the shakes start, and that's something you can't control.
And that is the bit why people drink.
That is the hardest thing, I think, being an alcoholic, to control that.
Viewers, like, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਨ ਲੋਕੀ ਪੀਂਦੇ ਆ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ, ਇੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਪਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਮਜ਼ਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਉਹ ਪੀਂਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਸਰੀਰ ਟੁੱਟਦਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਉਹ ਤੋੜ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ, ਖਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੀਣੀ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਆ। Sandy, what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to your interview, and for the viewers, you're going to share your story of the destruction it caused to your life. Viewers, watch this interview.
Hello, my name's Sandy Madar, and I'm a recovering alcoholic from 6 years ago. Prior to that, I actually drank for 25 years. It's not like I was brought up around alcohol, which I wasn't. My dad never really drank. My brothers and sisters were like my age, and Even at this point, 10, 15 years down the line, my family didn't even know that I've actually got a problem with alcohol. I have an issue with drink because I do everything so normal. Even I didn't know I had an issue with drink. But it's later on, after maybe 17 years of drinking, that's when my health started deteriorating. And I knew then. I was scared to do anything. I was scared to look it up to see what the symptoms are for liver failure. I knew it could damage the liver, but to actually go and Google it up or something and say, let me see it for myself, that was hard. So I still let time pass, and I still didn't listen to my body. I thought, I'm still young, I can still drink. But the thing is, I'd only drink at home. I wouldn't go out socialising, pubbing or clubbing to drink. I'd sit in the comfort of my own home. Time went by, I got married, we bought our house, and even my husband didn't know I was an alcoholic. He just thought I just do things like girls do, have a drink of the evening, but he didn't know what was happening during the daytime when I was picking up a drink. My drink just went on, and I really just didn't even know where to stop. And when you actually and yet, well, he knew I was drinking, but he just didn't know what to do. He didn't even know where to turn. He couldn't even turn to my family and say that your daughter's got a problem with drink. But I said to him, no, I said, I'll see the doctor about it and we'll see if we can get some help. And he said, well, I actually phoned up a few rehab centres, and they was asking for money like £25,000 for a year to go to this rehab centre. It's a house. Pretty quiet, and it wasn't until one night he actually came and thought, what's she doing in the bathroom with the light off? But it wasn't dark in the bathroom because our bathroom had a hallway light outside, so I'd always put that on and it showed through the blind glass because I didn't want to see the blood, and it was just pure red blood that I'd vomit every single night. And he put the light on and came in and said, what's going on? And I said, it's okay. I said, I'm just being sick. And he saw red blood and he phoned 999. And I could just vaguely remember him telling the ambulance people what had actually happened. The ambulance rushed me to the hospital. And I was actually sitting in that hospital and the doctors rushing around telling me that I'm not going to survive, that I'm not even going to pull through the night. But anyway, I did pull through. And the next morning I was a bit more stable. I wasn't quite with it, but I could still make sense of what the doctors were saying. They couldn't do any ops on me. They couldn't internally examine me because I'd erupted everything inside. So they'd stabilised me overnight and the next day until maybe a few days later when the doctor did come and say that the choice is yours. You can either live or you can die. And I remember tears rolling down my eyes and thinking, regenerated 99.9%. And in December 2012, from a biopsy I had in April of that year, took them from April to December to tell me 2 weeks before Christmas, around about now, that I've got mouth cancer. And I thought, how do I tell my family? I put them through all that, and to tell them I had mouth cancer, that was another story. Time went by, 2 weeks passed by, Christmas came, didn't. How come you haven't sent us a Christmas card? And I said, because I've been busy. She goes, there's something not right. She goes, you always call us, or you visit us. And I said, I'll tell you in the new year. She goes, you tell me now. She goes, because I know there's something not right. I told her. And she just cried. And she picked up the phone in January of 2013 and phoned the hospital up to make an appointment to see the professor, to ask the professor why has it took them from April to December to tell me that I had that in my mouth. Call the show, call Harvey Khaira. The numbers will be given to you at the end of the show. You're not alone. Pick up that phone, phone us, phone Harvey Khaira, phone the Cow Channel, get help. We're here for you.
Come back, Jihan, you've seen Sandy, the story. I mean, this is a story where she could have died. I mean, Sandy, it's very brave of you to go on camera and talk about this, especially being alcoholic. We try and hide the fact that we've had this problem, but you nearly died because of it.
I did.
I mean, how did you manage to hide it so well from your husband for so many years?
Not only my husband, my family, nobody knew, not even my closest friends. They actually, when I came out of hospital and I turned my life around 6 years ago, they said that we would never have known that he was an alcoholic.
You must have...
Not at all.
So did you not even leave the house?
I used to go and do my normal things. It was because my system had got so addicted to alcohol that for me, I do things so normally that it's not a case that I was falling over.
You were a functioning alcoholic?
I was a proper functioning alcoholic.
So in a day, how much would you say you drank?
Right. I was drinking a lot towards the end of...
When you were functioning alcoholic, on your daily routine of getting up in the morning, throughout the day till you went to bed and got up in the morning, had the what we called the delirium tremens and the shakes and the vomiting, how much alcohol were you putting away?
I'd start off with a cup of tea, straight after a cup of tea, no breakfast, and it'd be like towards the end of the 3 years of me giving up. It was a bottle of Smirnoff Ice. During the day it'd be vodka and lemonade, and in the evenings it would be Martell and lemonade.
So you'd have Smirnoff Ice in the morning? A
bottle of it.
So it was a 70cl bottle of it?
Yeah.
And then you'd have normal vodka during the day?
That would be half a bottle.
Half a bottle, and then in the evening you'd start on brandy. On brandy. Yeah. And your husband had no idea?
He knew I was drinking, but I think he couldn't make sense of what was actually going on. I think through his journey with me being an alcoholic, I think he got more confused. If anything, he didn't know where to probably go. Did you
think he was actually afraid of you? Because your behaviour must have changed when you were drinking. Did you get angry, violent?
Not really, no. I think he was scared when he used to come home to open the door, see what he'd find. Whether he was scared that he'd find me dead, alive, in a good mood, bad mood, I don't know.
Did he try and talk to you about it?
He did. He actually put the house up for sale because we did inquire about rehab. And I was getting a rehab centre in Wales at that time, and they was charging £25,000 for the whole year. But it was guaranteed that if I relapsed, they'd take me back free. So he actually put the board up to get £25,000.
And you were saying in your interview...
And I felt ashamed for him to have actually done that.
Should that have happened?
No.
I mean, should it have happened?
No.
It would have been a major setback in your life. But you chose to... Did you choose to self-medicate? Did you think, you know what, I can do this by myself? Alcoholics do this. They think they'll change their drinks, or they'll try and wean themselves down, or today I'm not going to have the morning drink, or I'll have it at 11 o'clock instead.
Tried it all.
Tried all of these different things.
Tried it all. It's not something you can do on your own. If somebody says to me they can do it, I wouldn't believe them. Because you can't wean off of alcohol. Without medical assistance, you cannot really do it.
There has been instances where people have become alcoholics, where they have weaned themselves off through the help of Alcoholics Anonymous and stuff like that. These people are ones who are very, very strong, and they can deal with the withdrawal symptoms and continually go to meetings and things. But I'm finding in our community a lot of people prefer to have detoxification, go to rehabilitation, but it's the stigma attached to it. It's like they feel afraid. What look you can get? What will my neighbours say? What will my uncle, my aunties, my nephews, my nieces, you know?
Yeah, it's always somebody. You forget what the underlying thing is. You're forgetting that it's the alcohol. I'm disappointed.
Do you think that, you know, when you were talking about underlying issues, what was your underlying, what made you suddenly pick up that drink? You know, you're talking about there was that hotel room incident.
What it was, I was in the show business. I used to work with like artists from overseas, and it was like top actors basically that come here to perform, and I'd be with them. We was like the organisers, and it was from that miniature bottle really that it was their society. It was a society I was in. It was a company I was in, not the society actually. It was a company I was in.
So you just sort of, it just spiraled out of control?
It did. It really did, without me even knowing.
So
and if somebody watches this now and says, without knowing, you just became an alcoholic, it's easy done. It really is.
You just don't know when it's going to capture you?
It just so easily is done that before you know it, it can spiral right out of control.
Okay. Let's go back a little bit to the point where in your interview you were vomiting blood and you still hid it from your family. Did that not tell you straight away, you know what, there is something wrong with me and I've got to seek some medical attention? Or was it your fear that you still didn't want anybody to find out?
I was scared that I didn't want nobody to find out. I didn't want nobody to get hurt along the way. And I knew that I was going to die. I knew I was going to die. I knew something wasn't right. I knew I was dying. But to actually go and seek that medical help for doctors probably tell my family, I think that would have been more devastating. When I look back on it now, it was just chance that my husband did find me in that bathroom, because 3 months of internal bleeding was a lot.
Okay. Now you're doing a lot of work with Alcohol Channel.
I am, yes.
And you're doing work with Alcohol and Beyond. Just for the viewers, if you want to just basically explain what we're doing in London, along with the Alcohol Channel, so that we can raise this awareness and get help to all the people suffering, even in the London area, Birmingham area, and up north.
We've just set up 2 meetings a month at the Gurdwara in Goodmays, the Singh Sabha Gurdwara, and Harvey will be there hopefully twice a month to actually speak to people directly. If you want to come there and speak to him, you can call the Alcohol Channel to make an interview to speak to Harvey. That's
can I call you directly?
You can call me direct because I'm in the London area. But 2 times a month there's information at the Gurdwara. As from this week, you can go there, pick up a leaflet and call them numbers at the bottom of the leaflet. And we're here to help you. You're not alone in this.
As Sandy said, alcohol nearly killed her and she was in denial. We don't want that happening to any of our viewers. We don't want it happening to your loved ones, your family, your husbands, your wives, your children, your brothers, your nephews. The list is endless of the people who are suffering with this devastating disease. Tune in again next week into Alcohol Channel, and just remember, you're not alone.
Right. You're not alone, but really pick up that phone, dial them numbers. You are hurting the people that care about you most. That's your loved ones.